So this video is going to introduce how to work with Node-RED to create a flow. So the first thing we have to do is connect to the Node-RED web server on the Beaglebone. So I've got my Beaglebone plugged in through the USB port, and so we're going to connect to the address 192.168.7.2:1880. So that's port 1880, that's the Node-RED. And on this Beaglebone you can see I actually have lots of flows. Each one of these here across the top are flows, but they're disabled. So you can enable them by coming over here under info, and you click on the little circle and you can enable the flow or disable the flow. And anytime you make a change, you will have to press the deploy button. So the first thing I want to do is I want to use my network test flow. You should already have a network test flow. And here what this does is it uses an inject module to inject a timestamp into a command box. And then that command box then sends an output to a debug statement. So the green is the debug statement. And now the debug statement here, I've marked the node, I've checked the box for node status, which will display the output right here. And so we can view it. It only shows the beginning, but that's really all we need for this to work. You can always come over here and click on this debug over here, and it'll show you all debug messages from all nodes if you select the all node option. Now you see the blue circle, that means that I've changed something. In this case I just drug it around a little bit, but then I changed it. Anytime you change it, you need to click deploy to redeploy. And then I'm just going to check my network. So I'm going to inject this timestamp, execute this, and now I'm going to look at the IP address. Now I'm on my local home network at the moment, so I'm getting a 192.168.2.140, which is a valid internet address for me. But in the classroom, you're looking for 10.101.201 something. All right, so this IP, you should see iNet here for internet, and then it should start with a 10.101.201. If you have that, then you should have network access or internet access. Now I'm going to go over to Blackboard, and under the Lessons tab for this week, I'm going to click on the NOAA starter flow. So we have a starter flow here to kind of get you started. And so when I click on that, you can see it pulls this up. Now this has got lots of semicolons and brackets and curly braces because it's JSON encoded data. All we have to do is copy it, but you need to make sure that you select all of it and just do a Control-C to copy. And then I'm going to come back over to my Node-RED tab. Over here at the hamburger, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to say import. And now I'm just going to paste that flow that I copied from Blackboard. And it says import the copy, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And so it gave me one brand new flow with 4 nodes. And so if we click on this, you can see here is my new flow, and it has this is just a info or a comment, and then it has 3 nodes here. Now what I want to do is I want to query NOAA for the weather at the Canton Akron airport. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put in NOAA Akron Canton airport code, and you'll see it comes up. So the code is CKCAK. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the inject button and I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to change it. Instead of injecting a timestamp, I want to inject a string, and the string is going to be capital C, capital K, C, A, K. right? So that's for the Akron-Canton. So I'm going to inject that into this function, which is going to build the URL to query the server, the NOAA server. And then I'm going to display that. I want to see this output. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this debug, bring it over here, double click on it, and I'm going to check this node status. And I'm also going to name this. So this is going to be the URL. And so I'm going to connect it here to this output just so I can view the URL piece. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy this. So Control C, Control V. And I'm going to also I would just want to review the request. Okay, so I'm going to name this request. And you can do this for each node. It's just to follow through it's just to see what's happening as we go along. So now, again, the blue circles are everything new, so something's changed, so I have to deploy. So I'm going to click on deploy, and now I'm going to go ahead and inject my code into this to build the URL. And so as you can see this, you can see here it's showing you like the beginning of the URL. But if you want to see the whole thing, come over here to the debug, and I'm going to hit delete to clean it up, and then I'm going to hit inject again. And so you can see here it says URL, node URL. So that is the information in this debug. And this is just sending in the KCAK code and then a little bit of extra information. And then the request then actually queried the NOAA data site. Okay, so this actually requested the data, did what's called a GET, and it got the data from the aviationweather.gov website actually, and pulled that data in, and this is the data. Now this is encoded in what we call XML format, and it's a little hard to read, but if you look in here you can see here's the station ID, and then if you continue looking in here, here is the temperature in Celsius. So currently it's 16.1 degrees Celsius at the Canton-Akron Airport. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking for with this starter flow. And then this next function then